Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Our defense definitely has improved more than what it has at the beginning of the year, which is also pretty solid. But like the last game, South Gray, they ran one back on a touch or kickoff. Other than that, our defense was pretty solid.
You know, this is my 4th year playing quarterback. I think this year I've been able to process things better, and I really can make the right reads now, and it makes it a lot easier for me to throw the ball.
You just talk about their season in general, what they've been able to do. This is their first winning season since 2003, so 19 years since they've had a winning season. They had picked up their first playoff win last Friday since 1979. I mean, you talk about Russell and their playoff experience. This is only their 6th appearance in the playoffs in school history.
3rd game in a row for us that we're playing a team that's kind of had that type of some things go against them setting, in which adds to the challenge. Mike Gundy's an excellent football coach, and he's been doing this a long time, and that's an excellent program. It played for a conference championship last year, and they'll get healthy.
To the first pitch to Harper, hit high in the air, deep right center field. It is gone. Bohm is a swing and a line drive to deep left. It's gone. A frozen rope into the seats in left. Pitch on the way, and a swing and a high fly ball to right. Tucker back on the track, jumps, and it is gone.
Missing Yamamoto, but he'll get it low to Draisaitl. Out to Kane, scores! Evander Kane pulls the trigger right in the slot, and the Oilers are up 2-1.
Stayed the course. I mean, that's all you can do. Like I said, you don't really worry about the regular season when the postseason turns. When it turns to October, right? I mean, it just everybody starts at 0 and you get going.
It's the way we look at it at this show. You don't follow a stinker up with another stinker.
Is that Panger in there? Is that Darren Pangburn? It's not Pangburn. What is it?
Darren Pang.
Panger.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
We'll get there.
Okay, all right. As we used to say on the first decade show, we need a full-time executive producer to hit that open stuff. But anyway, that wasn't bad. Welcome to Sports Day here on 1590, KVGB 95.5 FM, talk of the town. This is the Mayo Money Management Studios.
Crib.
Clinic.
The crib.
If you listen to the Trading Post, it was clinic this morning.
What did you get
How do
treated
you
for?
come up with Mayo Money Management Clinic?
I was thinking crib, and it just came out clinic. I knew that wasn't right. Oh, well.
You wonder why the ratings are so high for Trading
It's
Post.
entertainment. I'm telling
It
you.
is
I got people
entertainment,
telling me
my
all the
friend.
time, we just listen to hear you mess up.
Steve Webster, Mike Corson, Mike Hesher with you here on the program today. And I said we were following up. Yesterday's show wasn't a stinker at all. Holy smokes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, the open was a stinker here. We'll get the sounds of past 24 hours here in just a moment. On the program today, on the prowl with Mike Corson. He'll be talking with world-famous Cajun chef Lyles Lashley, who's also cross-country coach at Great Bend High School. Wrap up the season. A playoff football preview with K-Preps Conor Nicholl and the voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock, here on the program. Breaking news coming up, but should we do the breaking? Now let's do sounds of past 24 hours or so, and then we'll go.
Because I'll forget about them if you talk about
exactly.
the first one.
That's very good. That's one of the things you brought to this program. Boy, what a wonderful show yesterday. It is so cool when you get schools, that will drive up here just so we can talk to their kids and get on a pretty cool picture that Dakota Tucker took yesterday, and of the Maxville Mustangs. Kyle Bright in here brought 2 players. Lance Lickus and Ryan Kuckelman. Lickus has played every position on the football field defensively this year. Talking about their improvement on D, would have had 4 straight shutouts, but those special teams, they allowed a kickoff return by South Gray on Friday night. And then Ryan Kuckelman, 4-year starter at quarterback. These stats are amazing. 70% completion, 902 yards, 20 touchdowns, no interceptions. Oh, and by the way, he's leading the team in rushing with 856 yards and 18 scores. You heard Lance and Ryan on the show. They'll play at home against Rollins County, formerly Atwood, and that'll be on Friday night at 6 o'clock.
Buffaloes. How tall was Ryan? Was he 6'6", 6'4"?
I went with 6'6". See, I thought that Lance wasn't that big. I remember watching him play basketball last year for Maxville. Well, then we took that picture, and he's like 2 inches taller than I am. Of course, I was slumped over because that's what I do, but I mean, normally a 6-footer when I straighten out.
When you see him out on the football field, you think maybe frail, being that tall, a little open to an injury, lower legs or something, but kid's an athlete, big-time sprinter, state champion, and so he's Gerard Allen.
You know, Mr. Track guy.
Got to get that track comment.
Mr. Track guy, but I want you to know that who said, I don't remember who made the comment yesterday, yeah, boy, on that 400, you're going to run, and he wasn't that enthused. The 400 is the worst race ever.
I think I challenged you to run him against him, and he said he wasn't real excited to run it either.
Exactly. Listen, I was in second place at Kiowa back in high school after the first 400.
You were running miles.
It was the 800
It's that second lap every time.
Oh, it looked like I'd blown an engine. And the only reason I was running it because my dad was a coach and I didn't 3-step my hurdles that day. I was alternating, and he said, if you don't 3-step your hurdles today, you're going to run the half. Well, that's kind of exciting. So you get in the pack and you get out there, and then I was like in second after the first lap, and I ended up fighting off this guy from Norwich for last place, but I sprinted at the end and edged him.
So
it was a brutal race.
But you had the straight up 100. A lot of those older ones are yards.
Oh, it was yards. Yeah, it was the 880 back in those days. Yeah, it was the 880. Yeah, it wasn't one of the 800. It was the 880. Thank you. And, of course, again, we said at Kiowa, you go down and you start the race in Kansas. You loop down through Oklahoma, come back up the backstretch, back into Kansas. Around the curve you come in Kansas, go down and you go into the turn 3, and you're back in Oklahoma. And there was just cars, well, I guess not cars, but runners passing me. And then the buses were on the other side. I don't know why I'm just going with this because, you know, I was one of the ones who always got the field events done, hurdles. So all the buses are over there where all the ridicule comes for the runners that are in last place. And I was actually being ridiculed over there.
It's a great story, but it's still not as good as Marzoff's. I'll let him tell that someday.
His smile time gets faster every year.
Did you pull a Justin Verlander and do what Justin Verlander did to the Phillies fans the other day? The middle finger to the people in the bus?
I was too tired to hold up my arm. Okay.
He was probably just, they throw so many pitches, their hands get cramped.
Oh, yeah. It was all in jest, I think.
Listen, my first 440 was like 62. And my second one was probably about 94.
Hours.
It was a long day. Anyway, appreciate Maxville coming up, and we'll talk with Conor Nicholl about Rollins County and find out. Northwest Kansas has been pretty good this year in 8-man football. There's some good teams up there, and that's going to be a challenge. 9-0 Mustangs against 7-2 Rollins County.
They were good for a real long time, St. Francis, Rollins County, but kind of they've dropped off the map a little.
Massacre Canyon in Atwood.
You been to their football field? They got a nice little setting up there.
Oh, they do. And
it's cool. It's like a bowl shape.
Have you gone to St. Francis and seen Sainey's Stadium too? That's a good one.
Okay.
It's down at a bowl too. I guess they dug it out.
Prevent the wind in Western Kansas.
Exactly. Cole Reif talking about what kind of year it's been for the Russell Broncos this year. Not a lot of success in football all through the years. And this is going to be a interesting little game tomorrow. I'm sure Zach Baird and company will want to just go ahead and smack them down and just say, okay, look, nothing's changed. Status quo. But that'll be Friday night as Russell comes to town, 7-2 Cardinals. So
perspective on that game. They haven't won since 1979, a playoff game.
Yeah.
I was a junior in high school.
Good God.
Just to let you know.
Were dinosaurs walking the earth at that time?
Guess who they beat? Larned's.
They had a pretty good team there. Kurt Pirano was their,
one of the. I think he might be in the Fort Hays baseball.
He might be very well. He was a very good baseball player.
And that'd be another story. Except I could tell you that Kurt Pirano went up and kept my only chance at a home run playing for Tabor College. You went up and pulled it off the fence.
Really?
Yes.
He robbed you.
Yes.
Oh, man. I didn't like him anyway. Now I have double reasons not to like him.
All right, Lance Leipold. KU gets another team that's angry.
Well, KU should be angry. They've lost, 3 straight?
3 straight. They're coming off a bye. They get Oklahoma State, who got crushed 48-0 on Saturday.
With 3 losses and then the off week, it's kind of like KU football of the past. I forgot all about them.
Well, yeah, they got off to the start. They just need one more win to become bowl eligible. But that schedule they have left isn't going to be easy to get that one win. That will be 2:30 kick, and then Kansas State takes on Texas, 6 o'clock. We'll talk more about that game tomorrow and Friday. The call from Dan Shulman last night on KVGB, that was the first 3 of what turned out to be a World Series record-tying 5 home runs hit by the Phillies. They spanked Houston 7-0 in Game 4. Philadelphia now has a 2-1 lead heading into Game 4 tonight. 6 o'clock coverage here on KVGB.
So I believe Mr. Harper was setting on that first pitch curve, and then he gets in the ear of the kid on deck who comes up in the next inning, and I think he belts the first or second pitch out. So they asked that guy, what did Bryce tell you? Which we all know the correct answer to is, that's a clown question, bro. They're not going to tell you. So I wish they would have asked Bryce what he said. He probably would have made me get my shirt back out.
Have you ever had someone tell you that after you ask a question to them? That's a clown question, bro.
I'm pretty... Hey, I ask good questions. Be a menacing. So I think they make fun of me behind my back, but not to my face.
Remember the night Bill Snyder, Wyatt asked Bill Snyder about if someone was injured, and Bill Snyder's response was, Wyatt, they don't pay you enough to ask that question. Wow, kind of just, so I don't think Wyatt's ever asked another question about injuries. He didn't do it to Coach Snyder, I know that. So, and then the 6:30 Ched in Edmonton, the home of the Oilers. Evander Kane scoring to give the Oilers a 2-1 lead in the first.
That was Darren Pang, though?
No, it wasn't Darren Pang. That was 6:30 the Ched. 6:30 the Ched. Okay.
Ched.
All right.
The big news.
The big news of the day. Kansas basketball coach Bill Self, assistant Curtis Townsend, suspended for the first 4 games of the season. Jayhawks imposed several recruiting restrictions as part of the fallout of the FBI investigation in college basketball. Okay, so they're going to miss the matchup against Duke in the Champions Classic. This is interesting. I really don't know enough about it, except it's been that cloud that's been building to the west for a long time. Is this to appease the NCAA they basically snubbed their nose at for the last 7 years?
Yeah, do it early in the season so it's technically meaningless, but we did something.
We suspended him for 4 games.
Those games by March won't mean a lick.
Man, they've been on death row for a long time. 7 years.
And so what's interesting, I don't know exactly what the violations are, but probably whatever they did 7 years ago is
legal now.
Grandfathered in now.
Yeah.
It is legal now.
Yeah.
So keep track of that. That coming down this morning, so no Bill Self on the sidelines for their season opener.
They're going to bring in Pat McAfee? I think the guy can do anything.
Well, do you see him take his shirt off on game day? Yeah. Hey, look at these arms.
Yeah, he made Bill Self wear his jacket.
Bill Self kind of looked uncomfortable that day doing that. Probably not as much as he does now. So no recruiting. College basketball got underway last night. A couple of nail biters at the Kirkman Center. Cougar men roll 110-46. And they had 4 players in double figures, so they'll play NEO from Miami, Oklahoma, coming up Friday at the Warehouse in Hutchinson, 3 o'clock start. And then the 22nd ranked Lady Cougars will play at 1 o'clock against NEO. They won last night, 96-43. They had 5 players in double figures, led by that Spearville Lancer, Alyssa Heskamp, and Morgan Myers, the Cunningham Wildcat, with 14 points in the game last night.
Well, it was closer than you say, though, I was listening to it, and that 60-point shot rimmed off at the buzzer.
Did it really? Okay.
Because it was like Jeopardy. You can put everything on the. I don't think they had enough points that they could have made that up for 60. Anyway, they got it out of the way. Now the schedule turns a lot tougher. Kansas State, they win last night, beat Washburn 76-49, jumped out to a 35-10 lead to start the game. What
I
else
think I heard Cole say Barton scored 22 straight points to open theirs.
If it wasn't for that 22-0 run, it would have been a ball game. Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, top 4 teams in the first college football playoff rankings. And as Mike Hesher brought this to you yesterday, indeed, Pedro Gafal is replacing Hall of Famer Tony La Russa in Chicago.
He's down there on the Twitter with all the MLB network, Ken Rosenthal, I think.
Who you
John
took
Smoltz.
A picture of at Kauffman Stadium. You got to listen to the AM Great Ben show because you hear these coursing stories. This is when I can get in and tell my stuff.
The mic is yours.
Well, people probably have heard the 880 story many, many times, but I'm just like Grandpa, man. I tell the same stories over and over again.
If it's a good one, you can tell it over.
Okay, and it's a track one. I'm just trying to impress
you. Yeah.
It's going to be a long spring.
Okay. Did you have something else? What were you going to say? The game last night, baseball game, pace of play.
Oh, so I tuned into it, and when you watch the Royals, it's a relaxing atmosphere. This one, they got to show the crowd, they got to show the bench, they got to show this and this. They're cutting to the pitcher mid windup, and then it's because they got to have 16,000 microphones out there. It's not relaxing at all. It caused anxiety.
Guys,
slow it down.
We missed Get Off My Yard yesterday. We're going to have it today, and you want me to play the liner just so you can do good?
You got to be a lot more angry, though.
It's not my.
No,
nice.
that's me who gets angry. Okay.
Conor Nicholl coming up next here on the show.
Getting red-faced right now.
Yeah. Gerard, Wellbrock, Lyles, Lashley, man, we're loaded
for bear.
For bear. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Okay, yeah.
You say loaded for Bearcat?
I can say it, but
Hey-o. All right, stay with us. Sports Day rolling on.
Farmers depend on their equipment, and equipment depends on its fuel. Cenex Premium Diesel works as hard as you do and comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster even cleans up your injectors and prevents injector fouling, so your equipment can keep firing on all cylinders to make every day a field day. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today. Venture Corporation is now hiring for a CDL tanker operator driver. We'll operate the same truck all week. New higher wages with flexible hours, no weekends, and time and a half over 40 hours. Blue Cross and Blue Shield health insurance, vision insurance, Section 125 cafeteria plan, 401k retirement plan with match. Venture Corporation is an equal opportunity employer. Women and minorities encouraged. Apply in person at 214 South Highway 281 in Great Bend. Online at VentureCorpKS.com or call Leslie at Venture Corporation. Homegrown, family owned.
Carpentry is a rewarding career for people who like working with their hands and find gratification in making things. Barton Community College makes it faster to break into this high-demand career with great earning potential. Learn the skills you need to get started in a new carpentry career in just one semester. Classes are held from 8 a.m. through noon, Monday through Friday, leaving afternoons open for a part-time job or apprenticeship. Visit GoBarton.com to get started.
It's another instant finalist day in the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree. Presented by Bauer Computers and Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryant dealer. And today we're looking for instant finalist number 15. Dawson Jewelers Designs by Dana is the place to be from 10 until 5 to scan the QR code and get yourself qualified. Dawson's is your diamond destination store. There's only 52 shopping days left before Christmas. Let Dawson's design that perfect gift for you. While you're in, talk to them about custom design bridals. Browse their jewelry selection. And they can help you with jewelry repair and appraisals. The first 100 people will receive a coupon for a free watch battery. Today's the day. Stop in Dawson Jewelers, Lakewood and Maine, 10 until 5 for the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree. Presented by Bauer Computers and Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryant dealer. December 16th marks our giveaway date. You can find a complete list of contest details at grapeandpost.com. Good luck.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Absolutely. Get ahead with online or dual credit classes at Barton Community College. You can earn a certificate or associate degree while in high school. You can learn more at gobarton.com. As promised, high school football playoffs. Wow, it's Wednesday already. Conor Nicholl with us with K-Preps. And, of course, Conor, you said, well, this is my second radio show of the day, and you probably got a full day, but means you're big time. I'm glad you're on the show today, my friend.
Well, you guys do a great job. I've told Corson this, Rice this, you this. I think that this is the best sports radio show in the state, truly. I view it a lot. Having the online camera with it too is just really, really cool, and you guys just do a great job.
Well, I appreciate that. You're going to have to come down here next time we have you on so you can be in studio and you can get on there, see? That'd be
certainly.
Okay, we'll make that work. Okay, we've got a lot of games to cover here, and I said in earlier in the program today that it's been a pretty good solid season for 8-man teams in the Northwest, and we had Maxville in here yesterday. So tell everybody in this area about this Rollins County team that's going to come in here with a record of 7-2, Connor.
Yeah, this should be a tremendously close matchup. K-Preps, Matt Gilmore, and myself, we've done this for 13 years. We previewed and predicted so many games, and we went through every game last night. And this Rollins County Maxville game was honestly the one that we struggled with the most. This is a true pick'em toss-up game. What Rollins County has done, first of all, this is their best season in 6 years. Matt Smith was their fairly long-time coach, took a job as the Waukene principal, and Coach Schromick has really stepped up. Their senior quarterback, Drew, put together a really nice season, and on defense, he has had a tremendous year. They've also got a quaddle. They've had a number of quaddles go through that program. Schromick, too. They are very, very balanced. They beat Hoxie in that quality key win for them several weeks back, and they forced 7 turnovers in that game. And to me, that is going to be the difference here. I think Maxville has the slightly more explosive offense. Obviously, their quarterback and Gomez, for them, they've got a great quarterback-tailback combo and some other nice pieces too. But Rollins County last year, +8 in turnover margin, 7 fumbles recovered. This year, +11 in margin and 16 fumbles recovered. Can Rollins County, which has been overall pretty sound in run defense, corral Maxville enough and win the turnover margin?
Well, as long as Maxville hangs on to it, they haven't thrown an interception this year, so that's pretty good. And, yeah, this, like you said, I think that's a perfect way to describe this one, a coin flip game. Another interesting game. Russell, who, has had a great season, but it seems like they've been surging here at the end. They put a pretty good whooping on Norton in Week 9, and now they're getting ready to take on Hoisington. Yeah, it's been a long time since Russell and Hoiston played for something this meaningful in football. You'd probably have to go back to the MSAA days, Connor.
Yeah, and certainly. I was actually there last Friday, and I'll have a story out tomorrow on this, kind of just everything with this program. The first playoff win since 1979, and the release of emotion after that game from everybody, from the town, the student body, the coaches. the one parent told me, we've been waiting on this for a long time, and I'm paraphrasing here, but every other town ever gets to enjoy something like this, and finally it's our turn. This senior class for Russell in 5th grade had a perfect season, which was the first time Russell had done that in a really a long time. But as Russell has always happened, quality players don't go out.
Yeah.
There's coaching changes. There's various other things, and some of these players didn't until Coach O came on staff 2 years ago. And 3 people I really want to highlight that maybe are not well-known names, but are really key. Cam Farmer, 81 tackles, leads this team, had not played since the 8th grade, and he is a senior, and he leads them in tackles. Jackson Cross, the really athletic wideout, had not played several previous years. Krug, their kicker, kicked a 36-yard field goal, and he pinned Cimarron on a punt inside their own 10. I didn't think he played as a sophomore, came back out last year. And finally, Roman Hernandez, 18 tackles for loss as a sophomore. Russell, their quarterback and tailback, gets plenty of pub. But this defense is the best defense for Russell in 20-plus years, easily. Such a cool story this year. I think Hoisington, with their running game, with Coach Baird, their experience, is a slight favorite here. Somebody asked me for a score, and I went with 28-21. This should be a close game. Russell has no seniors on the offensive line. They're very, very young there. Hoisington's got a little bit more there, but what a great story going on this season for Russell.
So 28-21, which way are you going on this one, Connor?
I think the Cardinals win. Coach Baird's defense, they just don't give up many big plays. And I just feel like Hoisington's experience in some big games, they will definitely have a size advantage up on the front. I just think Hoisington just grinds out a win here.
Conor Nicholl with us, and Connor, that's the thing I love about K-Preps. You guys go out and you make picks, and you get people fired up one way or the other. So I'm sure they're probably going to war right now on the Russell-Barton County line right now. This is going to be a fun one. Okay, for Great Bend, what a story for the Panthers. It has been a fun season watching this team turn an 0-2 start into 7 straight wins. And they've come from behind wins, final drives to win games. Now they get Salina Central. Patrick Burnett threw a nugget out earlier this week that the last time the Panthers beat Salina Central in Salina Stadium was 1977. Holy smokes. Is Friday night the night that they get that win?
Well, I want to go back in the summer when we talked about, predictions on K-Preps. The story I've written since 2014 is my potential breakout team story. I normally pick 1 or 2 teams per class, and I had Maxville, Russell, and Great Bend on my list. Combined 9-19 last year. 22-5 this season. You are exactly right. What a season. Great Bend has probably won at least 2 games, and on paper people thought, maybe not. A great turnaround. Great Bend's turnover margin this year. I mean, there are so many improvements. But turnover margin, I believe Schuerman and Great Bend threw 17 picks last year. I think it's down to 6 or 7 this season. Their passing game counsel is so much better. But Keon McMillan for Salina Central, 4.5 speed, incredibly fast. I think Salina Central has gotten better quarterback play than maybe what they thought. They've played in several high-scoring, wild games. I would not be surprised to see Great Bend win this. I've got Salina Central 35-28 here. But this could go either way. I think as far as 5A West, you've got 4 really good games. Hayes Valley Center, of course, Hayes High's tremendous tailback. He has been out. And then you got Hutch, Carroll, and then, of course, Mays and also Capon. So you've got 4 really high-quality 5A West games. Great Bend, what a season. Do they have enough firepower against a really good Salina team?
Saw Ellsworth last week take care of Garden Plain. It was a close game. Ellsworth put it away with a fourth-quarter touchdown, but now they get Kingman. Tell me about your thoughts on Kingman and then this matchup with Ellsworth having to go down there and take on the Eagles.
Well, all year long, the top 3 in 2A have not changed. Southeast, Seneca out in the east, and then of course Kingman. I believe these 3 teams are a step above, if not maybe 2 steps above everybody else. What Kingman has done defensively for several years, Coach Beam, who of course was at Ellenwood several years back, that 3-3 havoc defense he runs, Kingman has been top 7 in 2A in scoring defense the last 3 years. And this year, after week 1, when they beat what's been a great Cheney team, they only allowed 2 scores in that game. They've allowed no more than 7 points in really any game 6. The Friend kid at quarterback, extremely experienced. The Albright kid at wideout, extremely fast. The state track champion. Great coaching staff. They've got a kid on defense, not a big kid, Jake Fisher on the line, incredibly strong. Kingman keeps a stat called how many times does a defensive lineman get blocked by 2 or 3 guys. He may not make that play, but he makes other people make the play. And Fisher is Kingman's number 1 player in that stat. The one thing Kingman lacks is size. I think Kingman is just too much here. They should win here. In my opinion, Southeast and Kingman are the top 2 2A West teams. I think Southeast has got too much size, but Kingman is a great team.
Yeah, they've been the team that they caught my attention when they beat Cheney early in the year. Everybody said, well, Cheney's way down. Well, no, I don't think so. But, Kingman's going to be tough out for anyone, and Ellsworth will be down there. So Conor Nicholl with us with K-Preps. And, Conor, this is kind of a big question, but I know you have this already in front of you, right? So here we go. Tell me who's coming out of the west side of the brackets, and I'll go ahead and start at the top. Let's go with Class 5A. Who's coming out of the 5A bracket?
Mays. I think Mays. I've seen them play. Mays is clearly a step above. I think everybody in Mays will be the pick there.
Okay, 2A, Class 2A. Who comes out of the west?
I think Southeast is a slight step above Kingman. That should be a great game, but Southeast.
Do you worry about the number of interceptions that Gephardt throws? He gets kind of loose with it. I think you can do that when your dad's the head coach. But he has thrown some picks.
It's certainly rare how many picks he has thrown. But if you look at last year, he did not throw. I think he threw 3. But it is strange. It's strange for sure how many turnovers he has this year.
Yeah, I don't think you can go against Southeast of Saline at all. Okay, Class 1A. Who's coming out on the west side, Conor?
Well, I'm gonna go with it. I went with it in the summer. I don't think anybody else has them, but it is Smith Center. Smith Center will be my pick. That loss against Alma a few weeks back, a really wacky game. Give Alma huge credit for coming back, but I think Smith Center the last several weeks has found things. They are my pick to come out of the West.
Is this a 13th straight year in the playoffs that they played Sedgwick? I mean, it just seems
it's crazy. And not. It really is.
Okay, 8-man one. Who's coming out on the West?
I've been a WC fan all fall on. They were another K-Preps potential breakout team. Coach Bryant Douglas, tremendous offense. This year they've got that defense to match. They are my pick.
Okay, Wichita County 9-0 right now. Okay, 8-man 2. I didn't give Victoria a lot of love here because I didn't ask you about them, but they're in the running. They're also, of course, you have that Dighton team who's coming out on the west side, 8-man 2, Conor Nicholl.
I've seen all three teams play, Victoria, Thunder Ridge, Dighton, and I will pick Dighton.
Okay.
I think that they are and all three teams are very, very close. But Dighton moving Carson Scheimer to quarterback and putting Neely at running back. Neely, of course, was their first-team All-State quarterback last year, has opened everything else up. They have the best receiver in Kramer out of all three teams, a slight edge to Dighton, who has 5 wins against teams that are still left in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm not going to give you a layup on this one. This is my question for Class 3A. What is the closest point differential that Andale will face coming out of the West in 3A?
This Friday against Pratt.
You really think?
I have said Pratt is probably a top 5 team. In fact, I had emailed somebody earlier this week. I said the team that I feel the worst for out of every classification this week is Pratt. Pratt is my number 5 team in 3A, and really, if you put Pratt in 3A East next to Holton, they may come out of that. This is a really tough matchup, obviously, for Pratt, which is a really, really complete team. This will be Andale's closest game.
Yeah, and they play that. They moved that up to tomorrow. Is that any advantage for one team or the other? I mean, they've already played once this year.
Not really. I mean, I can see kind of what Pratt did against Hoisington a few weeks back, trying to throw some halfback passes in and those things. But Andale does everything so well. And I've said this for a while. I would rank Andale in 6A. Yeah. They're that good. They just really are. It's really amazing.
Conor, real quick here. Coming out of the West on 6-man, and really the team that we have left around here is Pawnee Heights. They've got a pretty tough task against Waverly. So, but I guess 6-man. Give me your state champion.
Certainly. Cunningham and Ashland have been 1-2 all year. They played a 1-score game in week 1. Cunningham, loaded powerhouse, everybody back except one player. The Blue Jays had everybody back except, I think, 2 players. These 2 teams, and Shiloh's a good, solid 3rd team, but those 2 teams are a step above. Cunningham will not be tested in the East. They are multiple scores better than everybody else out there. I think on the West, the Blue Jays and Shiloh get a rematch in the semis. But those are your top 2 teams for 6-man.
Bringing it strong, Conor Nicholl. Conor, appreciate the time today. Man, enjoy Friday. It's just going to even get better next Friday or Thursday or Friday. Depends on if your game's been moved or not. So, anyway, take care, my friend. Great work as always, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Okay. Thanks so much, Steve.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Conor Nicholl, man, is bringing it strong here on Sports Day. We're going to go back up to Northwest Kansas. Voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock, checking in next.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Right in Linda Mader for Barton County Commission District Number 1. Linda is honest, hardworking, practical, and fiscally responsible. Linda wants to learn and knows her job is to listen to the citizens of Barton County. Linda believes that local government is very important to our everyday life and wants to help make an impact for the people. Check the other box and write in Linda Mader for County Commission.
I'm Linda Mader, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Linda Mader for Barton County Commission District Number 1. Alan Hoffman, Treasurer.
Enjoy a great plate of spaghetti and support local firefighters and responders. Thursday night, the Great Bend Fire Department Social and Charity Committee presents the 17th Annual Spaghetti Dinner from 5 until 7:30 at the Columbus Club, South Main and Great Bend. Tickets are $7 at the door. Kids 5 and under eat free. Dine in or carry out. You can also take part in the dollar ticket raffle with thousands of dollars in prizes. It's Thursday night with the Great Bend Fire Department at the Columbus Club on South Main and Great Bend.
It's time to head to Tiger Town to talk Fort Hays State Tiger sports with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock, on Sports Day.
I don't know, it finally hit on me that the voice of Tigers is named Grrr.
I've had several people inquire about how many are, so they are listening and they are paying attention.
Officially on the GER Open that I have here. Now, this was discussion we're bringing yesterday, and this is just how many times I hold down the R. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 G and 9 R's. So that's how you spell.
Wow.
That's how you spell GER.
All right.
Yeah.
That's probably too many for a license plate. I have to look into that. Never been to the personalized license plate, but maybe I have to do that.
Well, and you need a couple of periods behind it so you can extend out the GER.
Yeah, you probably do. Yeah, or exclamation points, depending on how you say it.
Oh, Jordan Wellbrock. Hey, you've got breaking news today, and it's something that we've seen other schools do. I mean, for high school, but sport added today at Fort Hays State University.
Yeah, women's wrestling, and I knew it was kind of in the works. They made the official announcement. The 2024-25 academic year is when it'll officially be on board. But they made the announcement, and I think they hope to have a new coach for the program sometime this spring and get going on that. I mean, it's obviously become very popular, and now that Keisha, it's a sanctioned sport, and they have their own state champion. It's just really grown. They'll be the first NCAA school in Kansas to have it, and the first in the MIAA. There are some NAIs, Baker, some of the KCAC schools already have it, so they'll probably have them on their schedule early, but I think the hope is more MIAA schools will add it and more in Division II, and eventually they can have their own championship as well. But, it's an emerging sport in the NCAA, which means they're encouraging universities to take a long look at adding it, and Fort Hays State has. So I think that'll be a cool thing and some great opportunities for those young ladies who, I mean, obviously it's excelling in high school and you're getting more participation, and you get a time to, run a cycle of some of the wrestlers go through it for, through their high school career, and then you get a chance to compete in the college level.
What about the facility? Gosh, I used to be there. There's across from the athletic office was where the wrestling room was. It's probably so. And don't laugh.
No,
the way
they've converted some of the old racquetball courts. Weren't being used as much, so they've converted that into a wrestling room, and they'll share. And in fact, the men's coach said they've checked in a lot of programs that have men and women. They just alternate. One practices in the morning, one practices in the evening. They're working on how to configure the locker rooms and do all of that stuff to make it work. So there are some logistical things they need to work out. But it looks like right now they'll probably do a little remodeling to the wrestling room. As it was joked, it'll probably be kept a little cleaner than when the guys are just using it, which might probably be a good thing. but yeah, so I think they're working on some of those, but they'll share the wrestling room. And as far as the competition, I don't think they know that yet. But like Curtis Hammock said today, they'll probably initially, a lot of the NAIA programs that have it, they'll be wrestling them. And Shadred, I think, has it, and there's a few in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference they can do. And I think the hope is now that they've done this, more in the conference and the region will look to add it, and then eventually you can wrestle a Division II schedule. But that's cool addition.
You know, if you just dam up Big Creek, you could add crew, too.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it would. And if, especially down there by Frontier Park, I mean, it wouldn't be like a straight one race either, you know.
You have to curve, and you could have some good vantage points for fans. You could be on the swinging bridge. And watch
that would
there.
be awesome. You know, it'd have to be the short row competition, you know, because the short or competition. Yeah, the long ones
would get caught on the banks, but that'd be kind of fun.
Okay,
you can pick up all the frisbee golf discs in there.
I got you. K-State Monday night for the 4-day state Lady Tigers. That was a pretty good ball game.
You know, they were within one going to the fourth, and you know, basketball. Tigers had 12 turnovers against the Power 5 school. They'll take that every day, but 5 of them were in the fourth quarter, and you know, and K-State hit a couple big shots. 4 days missed a couple of good looks, and it went from 1 to 10 pretty quickly, and just couldn't close the gap, but played well. And there's a lot of returners, but there's a lot of new faces, a lot of new parts on this team, and that was a good experience for them. They didn't have their number 5. Their post player was out with an ankle injury, and not sure she'll go this weekend or not in Kansas City. But I think it was a good confidence builder, and I think they're going to have a chance to be pretty good again. I mean, we'll see. They open up with West Texas A&M on Saturday, who was an Elite 8 team a year ago, and has 4 starters back and really, really good. But I think Tony Hobson will have a very competitive team that's going to win a lot of basketball games.
Tigers, that was painful Saturday, 42-14. Tigers fall at Emporia State. Now they get Northeastern, thank goodness, in Hayes this Saturday. But just get through the year, and they got 2 more games, Northeastern, and then Pitt State, wrapping it up on November 12th.
Yeah, I mean, Emporia's good. I mean, they're really good. And they've got some super seniors, and they played like it. They look like it. They're physical. I mean, right now they're on the outside looking in for the playoffs, but it looks to me if they can beat Northwest, and they have Lincoln this week, and they beat Northwest in week 11 at home, I think that'll get them into the playoffs. We'll see. They're number 9, I think, this week. They actually have a rankings, but they're really good, and, I mean, their defense is solid. And 4 days, we talked about the injuries. They're too young to compete. And you just tell physically they can't compete with that, with all the guys out. So it was a long afternoon. You'd hope that maybe they could have put up a fight, but Emporia is just too good right now, and just a lot better. So, yeah, Northeastern, which they're better, even though their record doesn't show it. They're not great, but with 4 days season, I mean, this is obviously a winnable game, but they'll have to play well. You can tell their coach is trying to do it the right way, but they're more disciplined. They just play smarter and better than they have. So, and they almost beat them for Washburn. I mean, they probably should have beat Washburn, led pretty much the whole day until the very end. So, team playing with some confidence now. So 4 days will have to play well. They're still beat up. I found out Hunter Budke came back, their All-American tight end, then re-injured his ankle. He's done for the year. Not looking good for Chance Fuller at quarterback to have a chance to come back and finish his career on the field. So it's just been one of those years, and just, get through it. They've played a lot of young kids, which I think gives them a step up for next year, and they're going to have a lot of young kids on the field next year. But I know Chris Brown really likes his core of young players and feels they've got a chance to win with them. It's almost like a first-year head coach coming in. You got to play a lot of young guys and just kind of work through that process. But I think brighter days are ahead. They're just not there right now.
Absolutely. Gerard, always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Steve. Always a pleasure.
Okay, Gerard Wellbrock, voice of the 4 Day State Tigers, with us here on Sports Day. Coming up, Lyles Lashley, cross-country coach and world-famous Cajun chef, on the prowl with Mike Corson. That's next.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
There's nothing like A-STEM therapy. This is Tim Marcus from Progressive Physical Therapy in Hayes. Research shows that A-STEM therapy improves muscle performance and neural functioning. It's highly effective for those dealing with tennis elbow, carpal tunnel, sports injuries, and general aches and pains.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
I am Joanne Roth, the Democratic nominee for State Representative, the 113th District. Vote like democracy depends on it.
Paid for by Joanne Roth for State Representative, Kent Roth, Treasurer.
I said chantilly lace and eggshell, not matte.
Colby's interior design consultancy is floored with new clients.
Wait, what am I looking at here? This looks like plaid.
They need an admin with an eye for design and a knack for numbers.
Okay, hey, look, take a look at this. Do those numbers look right?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined the final time of the season by Great Bend High School cross-country coach Lyles Lashley. I had somebody dressed up as Drew Brees on my door last night. Was that you?
No, I didn't leave my couch.
Smart move. All right.
Was it a big fella?
Bigger than Drew Brees.
Nice. A smart guy. Do I get the outfield intro for track season?
I think so. Unless I come up with something better, I'm looking at some killers.
How could you get better than the outfield?
The killers.
Okay.
Now, you've requested it, so we will try to make your every dream come true at the program.
I like it. That's why you're the best.
Obviously, coming off your biggest meet of the season, the 5A state championships up at Rim Rock outside of Lawrence. I mean, as a fan, I was disappointed to not see the girls come home with a team trophy, but what was their attitude with the 5th place finish?
We knew going in, we had to run awesome. I mean, really, really well to be second or third. We thought if we ran good, we'd get third or fourth, fourth or fifth. And we thought if we ran just average, we'd be, 6th, 7th, or 8th when they're going in. And, we just had a 2-minute, 10-second split between the 1 and 5. And it's just hard to win a state championship trophy or any of the trophies with that kind of split. And just, our girls came in and our team average went from 2050 to down to 2032. So 2055 to 2032. So definitely a lot of improvement in a month, and that's all you ask.
And you had beat, I think, Capon and maybe one or two of those other schools along the way. Is it just different at state because you have so many girls now in between?
Well, Capon, their situation was their Addie Curtis girl who was a state runner-up in track in the 2-mile. She's kind of up and down, and 1 week she runs pretty good, and 1 week she runs pretty bad. And when we raced them earlier, it was her bad day, and then she ran pretty well at state, and that was the difference of them beating us and us beating them.
So on the girls' side, the good thing is nobody's leaving. Everybody could come back next year. How exciting is that based on what you guys have done?
Well, it's exciting, and I think all the girls are excited about it, so I think we'll get them all back, and then, we'll add a few 8th graders coming up and make that competition. So, they're all excited about it, and, they obviously wanted the trophy, but, they laid it on the line, and they did what I asked them to, and they just wasn't our day, and teams were just better than us the other day, so we're excited.
Great Bend High School cross-country coach Lyles Lashley. The boys' side, once again, I don't know if a kid is disappointed to miss the top 10 by a second, but how was Caden after the race?
He was fine. He laid it on. He's been banged up for the last week and a half, and been nursing a few little nagging injuries, and he'll be the last one to ever make an excuse. And he went after it. He was the first mile. He was in second, third place, and he stumbled coming down that big downhill over there, and he just didn't recover from it. He struggled the last 1K, but all I did was ask him to lay it on the line, and he didn't come there to finish in the top 10. He was trying to get in the top 3, and it just wasn't his day. And we'll look forward to him getting getting healed up and ready to roll for track season.
And cross country is a little bit funny in that the kids, it's not the same sport, but they're still coming back and running in 2 seasons. How does a season like this kind of amp everybody up for the spring?
Oh, it gets you excited. I mean, girls are definitely excited because what we have coming back for track, and then, to throw in what we had for cross country, with Marissa and Addie, and then you can see some girls that are some 4x8 possibilities coming out cross country. So, that makes it exciting for them. Boys, saw some good potential coming for the younger kids. So, we're looking forward to track season and then them developing more as runners too.
And we'll close with this. How about our regional? 3 state champions and a state runner came up out of the 4 regionals that held out at Lake Barton. And
that's pretty cool.
And what did you think about that 6A girls race?
Oh, just like you heard, the girl from Shawnee Mission South, she kind of did like Caden and went after her and tried to beat her, and she died. But we saw who the best one overall was, though.
Caitlin Roop.
Yep.
Coach, many thanks for the help this season. My first time doing this, so we look forward to continuing this on in the spring.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you and all you've done for Great Bend High School sports this year. I know all the kids have been excited about it. The parents and everybody is definitely excited every day to listen.
Well, thank you. More Sports Day after this.
Get the latest 5G devices at Next Tech Wireless. Now you can get the iPhone 14 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus on us, or up to $999 off any other device. And that's not all. You can also get half off a new Apple Watch when you bring your number to us. Next Tech Wireless. We are Kansas.
There is a tremendous demand for plumbers, and Barton Community College just made it faster and simpler to break into this high-wage career. In only 1 semester, master the skills needed to get started. Classes are held from 8 a.m. through noon, Monday through Friday, leaving afternoons open for a part-time job or apprenticeship. Sign up today and start your new career after just 1 semester of coursework. Visit gobarton.com to get started.
Sports Day proudly presents...
Hey, you! Get off my yard!
A look at what's bugging our grumpy old sports hosts.
I tell you what I get grumpy about is my co-host said, "So why do you like Connor better than Chet?" I didn't say that at all. I didn't say what I was going.
No, I ask why.
Why? What?
Why did you choose Chet Copeland over Connor? Chet Copeland's on every week. You told me to call him.
Well, because Cole always had him on, but that was during the era of the 35-minute sports show. So we were able to add more talent.
Okay.
We get John Betts on here all the time. We've added some things on the show.
And that's what your grumpy old man thing is. Get off my yard.
Nah, my grumpy old thing, we mentioned it yesterday, so I don't think I've ever mentioned it here. Football programs that wonder why they lose year after year after year. Because they change their stinking helmets.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
That's why they lose.
Now, I don't know what's going on with Nebraska, okay, but you don't change your...
Okay.
How do they... Okay, have you ever thought about this? Do they, repaint those helmets every week, or do they have, 780 helmets in their program that cost $500 each?
I would say they're getting sponsors, Adidas and Nike and all those to pay for it.
Well, by the way, yeah. Speaking of Nike, Bill Self out for the first 4 games, suspended by the school today.